wherever you may be watching this transmission. I'm not sure if you guys saw my opening intro there. And, well, here it is. Trends in the housing market. It is June 17, 2020. And welcoming everyone to the transmission. Well, I want to thank everyone, for the emails. I want to thank everyone that's been sending a ton of emails to me, just stories and stuff and what they're doing with their housing plans and stuff. So I have an email here from Andrew, and he goes by the name of Drew. We're going to go into the email a little bit later. It's really short, and he sends me a link to a property that he's buying. Sold his house in Canada. He sent us a link of a property he's buying in the United States. He landed a good paying job in the United States. And he says he starts September 1st. So hopefully whatever this thing that's going around disappears and goes to hell. And whatever happens, So, okay, so we got a lot of people in the comment section. And Axel Rose is here. Stephen Sewell's here. Real Kevin Thompson is here. Search for the Truth is here. Lots of people in the comment section here. Omar too. And Anthony Ruvalakaba in the house. So we got Real Kevin Thompson saying I'll be live in 5 minutes. No, I'm here, Kevin. I don't know if you could see me. But I am here and ready to go. Yeah, I'm a few minutes early tonight. I kind of wanted to kick off a little bit early, get the stream warmed up. You know what I'm saying? So before we go on the stream, guys, let me do a quick... Before we go into the... let me do a quick channel plug here. Guys, here, let's go to article scan. Let's go here. Here it is, guys, the channel. Guys, don't forget to go to the channel here and set all your reminders to the upcoming shows. YouTube's been a habit now lately for YouTube where they're not sending out my notifications. So if we go to article scan here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. If you look at my Mike in the Nights, it went from average 2.3 to 3,000 views per show. Now 2.1 to 1.5 to 1.1. That's my Mike in the Nights. And trends in the housing market is the same thing. I went from 2.5 to 1.9 to 1.5, 1.6 and 1.4. So the show everything is declining. It's on a steady decline. And that's just, I guess, how it is with the new platform. And I don't know if you guys saw the news today. YouTube now is planning YouTube, Google, Facebook, everything. The platforms now will be on the hook for anybody commenting. Anybody in the comment section commenting and they go out of line or say something out of line, the channel could get shut down now. So if somebody goes on a video of mine and comments something, even though I can't control what that person's going to say, there's a lot of fake accounts that come on. And, yeah. Okay, Stephen Sewell said he's got his notifications. We got Aquarius in the house. And, yeah, so they were talking earlier about the merit harassment series. Yeah, guys, don't forget to check that in the playlist here. If you're looking and you're bored and you want to binge watch something, watch this, the merit harassment series. It's so good. It is so good. It's like a one-sided argument from one side the whole time. One side. And last week I was told off pretty harsh on the street the other day that actually stopped traffic everywhere. Like everybody on the street stopped. And Buddy was just wailing and swearing at me. It was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. I've never had so much hatred coming from... Well, there's one guy in Australia and there's one guy here in town for opening a similar business to him. And Axel says, have you ever talked to him face to face? I talked to him once when I moved to town and that's it. And I don't know the guy, right? So check out the merit harassment series. You guys will love it. And Project Tabletop is really good too. I got to promote these shows because YouTube isn't promoting my channel at all. And for today, guys, don't forget to watch this video from today. Let me see if it's here. Mystery Silver Box. I bought a box of silver off some guy, and it had some really good gems in it. And really good gems, so check it out. Buddy was cleaning out somebody's... you know when people leave their homes and they just leave everything behind, and they go back to Europe or they go somewhere, and they don't bother taking their belongings, but they just take their clothes in a bag and they leave everything behind. Well, this is what happened. So Buddy found this and brought it to me. Guys, don't forget to buy something on Teespring. If you guys want to buy a t-shirt or a hat or something, all the proceeds support the channel. Guys, don't forget to follow me here on I got an article here I want to cover tonight, actually, here. And then we got, I'm going to give you guys my Facebook if you guys want to follow me on Facebook. And if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. So we got David Xavier in the house. Everybody is coming into the house tonight to Trends in the Housing Market. It is 7:02 p.m., so we're starting the show right now. And I kind of want to jump on before I go anywhere else and say right here, Instagram, what do I want to say? Right here. Children's Place. So this is Children's Place is closing 300 stores and liquidation sales could start soon. So they're blaming it on COVID. I just think people just don't have money anymore and people are having a really tough time. We've been talking about liquidity in the household, how much disposable income people have. And we could... people don't have the money. People just don't have the money. And they keep blaming it on this. Sure, they could blame it on anything they want. But if people don't have money, they don't have money. And the average Canadian is $200 away from being homeless. So, how do you guys feel about that? You're going to see a lot of retail closing, a lot of retail getting hit pretty hard. So there's trends in the housing market. Woo! Yeah, David Xavier is saying people are having fewer children. Yeah, here in Canada, the Canadians, a lot of I still talk to a lot of my high school friends on Facebook, and a lot of them never had kids. My high school friends, like my classmates, a lot of them never had children, and that's like, whoa. A lot of them, especially the women, were very career driven. A lot of the girls that I went to school with are career driven. They're career driven and working their jobs in their career. And I think, in my opinion, a lot of people regret not starting a family when they get older. I honestly think so. Because right now, at my age, I'm 42, I would have huge regrets if I didn't have kids by now. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, I found a woman from the Philippines, right? I don't want to get off topic here, but, and she's very raised in the machismo, male chauvinism. Her dad was a police chief and stuff, so she was raised in that machismo, male chauvinism. So for me, we don't argue. We do whatever. We do everything together. We love each other. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, okay, so let's go to article scan. Trends in the housing market. Thank you all. Thank you one and all for joining tonight. Guys, tonight we're actually going to kick off with California. California's got some really big stories here. 3 big stories that we must cover tonight. We won't read them all, but we're going to get the gist of them because California is starting to come to grips that they cannot, it's looking at going bankrupt. Like, not the whole state, but like counties in California look like they're going to be going, cities will be going, municipalities be going bankrupt. Owen saying, if you have no money when you're younger, then you shouldn't regret not starting a family when you're older. Tignim says, but I popped out my share of 2 kids. Nice. Real Kevin Thompson says, 2K checks forever. Stephen Sewell says, School blackboards too. Not sure what he means by that. Remember when people used to work? Yeah. Yeah, is Arnold Schwarzenegger bankrupt? No. That's just, I don't think he's bankrupt. I know he buys a lot of cars. Okay, guys, so we're going to kick off Los Angeles. We're going to go start with San Francisco first and then move our way south to LA County. California home sales fall to the lowest level since the Great Recession. Bay Area and Coast sees the biggest drop. So this is from 2 days ago. This is today. Yeah, this is today's date. June 17, 2020. According to California Association of Realtors, home sales in the state fell to the lowest level since the greatest recession as the housing market suffered a full impact of the COVID. Again, they're blaming COVID, but they're not talking about the restricted cash flows from China. They're not talking about money laundering being shut down. They're not talking about that. May reports shows sales remained low, 300,000 for the second straight month. The sharp sales drop in May was the steepest we've seen in some time, but there are encouraging signs to show that the market is recovering and should continue to improve the next few months, said 2020 CA President Ratsick in a news release. So 3 months of double-digit declines. As we predicted, my home sales took the full impact of the COVID pandemic and remained in lockdown during the past few months and caused 3 straight months of double-digit sales declines, which haven't experienced since the association began reporting home sales in 1979. So the statewide median price is $588,000 for the existing single-family home in the state was down 3%. So we're seeing a revision in prices and sales are down. So all major regions dipped in sales more than 35% from last year. Remember, sales, not prices, guys. So don't go out to California and buy, right? So, okay, now watch this. Now we go to Los Angeles. Now they're implementing what they did in Vancouver and Toronto. An empty homes tax could go before LA voters in November. So if you're in Los Angeles, guys, and you're watching this, I really urge you, I wholeheartedly urge you to really consider going out and voting for this, to vote in favor of empty homes tax, because for every one homeless person, there's 4 empty homes owned by foreign investors. 4 empty ones for every one homeless person. And there's about 43,000 or 40-something, some odd thousand in LA County area. That's a lot of homeless people. And I'm not saying to give free housing to the homeless people. I'm not saying that at all. But there's some people on menial pensions and stuff that could afford a 1-bedroom if prices were realistically priced. If prices were realistically priced, you'd have the average pensioner still living in a menial 1-bedroom apartment or renting a room with another roommate or something. It doesn't have to be like this. Like, not every, like, how empty homes is what's destroying cities and leaving them into empty shells. Okay, so what do we got going here? We got Serenity now. Good Wednesday evening, all. We got Real Kevin Thompson says 1981. Owen says happy belated birthday. Tignim says happy belated red. Axel Rose says Red Pill Millennial. So you're between 38 and 20. I think it's Red Pill Millennial's birthday. Is it? I think he's 30. Okay, anyways. All right. The City of Los Angeles Council took the first step Tuesday, towards asking voters to approve a new tax on empty homes, directing city lawyers to draft the measure ahead of the looming deadline. But the council has not made a final decision to put a tax on the November ballot in the face of the ongoing debate how such a tax should work and how it would affect Angelonis, that's for Los Angeles people. The vacancy tax has been proposed as a way to nudge landlords to put vacant apartments back on the market. Landlords don't live in America. And a lot of the properties, you know what they said, that 30% of homes that are owned in California, 30%, I'm not talking about of all the homes, 30% of foreign investor homes. Okay, not of all homes, of foreign investor homes. 30% of them have never been to America, apparently. 28%, almost 30% have never, ever visited America, but they own one to 25 properties in California. So, Los Angeles Housing and Community Investment Department also analyzed the idea and found the LA has a vacancy rate between 6 and 7%. Wow. Wow. What? Yeah, $5,000 for every vacant residential property, a flat tax, $5,000. Yeah, $5,000. And then this way, if they could get $5,000 for every empty property, that money could actually go and fund housing for the homeless. I think that could bring in quite a bit of pocket change for people living in LA County. I think this could bring a lot of pocket change and help the people living in LA County is what I meant to say. So Romeo is saying, Mike, people see the college system as broke. Also, that people see that going to college is not worth it. People planning to take a gap year from college. Yeah, that's a lot of people taking. And then Lord Humongous is saying, I'm winning big on T-Square's channel. Woo! And T-Square is another channel that's been on here. And he does a lot of, I've mentioned, he's been on here. You guys know him. He's been on here many times doing live streams about gold and silver talk, basically. Really good gold and silver talk. And will California guarantee housing as a right? Here's how the pandemic is shaping the debate. Now, if California actually... It does go towards socialism, but California is in a severe dire straits right now. A right to housing for families and children. A California bill to create a right to housing mandate for families and children easily passed out of the House and Community Development Committee on Wednesday. That's today. Assembly Bill 2405 introduced Assemblywoman Autumn Burke would declare a right to housing and force state agencies to house children and families at risk of falling into homelessness. This is kind of good in a way. It is a form of socialism where you got state-run housing, but it's good because California is just beyond. And the mass exodus of middle class families leaving, and the brain drain of professionals saying, I'm not living here anymore, it's getting pretty bad. So here it is, guys. This is what's happening in California. A little wrap up here in California. California home sales fall to levels since the Great Recession. Bay Area and Coast sees biggest drops. Empty homes tax going to vote for LA voters in November. That's very important, and I urge people living in California to please go vote for this bill, because then at least it could put some pocket into the money. No, put some money into the pockets and get things rolling on housing here and getting people housed. Because for every one homeless person, there's 4 empty units. It's crazy. And California guarantee housing a right. But it is leaning towards socialism. But I don't want to see families and kids on the street. That's just me. I just don't want to see it. You know? So Axel Rose says trade apprenticeships start at 14 to 16 an hour. So who else is here? Trade education is good. And Owen is an electrician by trade. Owen's been on the show many times. He's a personal friend of mine. I've met him. I met his whole family. I know him personally. So there it is. California is now taking steps. Is it too little too late? That's the question. Is it too little too late in California? I mean, man, they've lost so many. They lost so much. California's lost so much of its middle class to Arizona, to Nevada, Texas, and a lot of Texicans are pretty mad at the Texonians or Texicans are pretty mad at the Californians moving in, and it's been causing trouble also in Oregon. So it's been kind of a problem for a lot, right? So let's move on, guys. Let's move into Canada here real quick. Canadian real estate prices peaked, says Canada's largest bank, revises forecast lower. So there it is. It's Canada's. We're not gonna entertain what a bank has to say. TransUnion Canadian non-mortgage credit delinquencies soar to 2015 levels. Canadian non-mortgage credit delinquencies soar to 2015 levels, guys. Holy crap. Canadian lenders have been granting credit payments deferrals by the hundreds of thousands. Somehow that's not quite enough to deter the delinquencies. TransUnion data shows significant uptick in delinquencies for non-mortgage credit in Q1 of 2020. The increase brings the country to its highest level of delinquencies in half a decade. Oh, man. So there it is. Let's see if we have a graph here. So the percentage of non-mortgage accounts more than 90 days overdue. Oh, wow. 6%? Almost 6%? Oh my God. There's Ontario and Quebec, and that's Canada as a whole. Canada as a percentage. Oh my God. Ontario credit delinquencies reach 5.35%. BC credit delinquencies hit 5.86%. Quebec credit delinquencies rise to 4.5% of accounts. That's a lot of people. Holy crap. Holy smokes. That's a lot of people going delinquent on credit cards. So we're at 2015 levels, and then the next step from 2015, guys, is 2008 levels. And then from 2008 levels, we go down to 1991 levels or 1990, 91 levels, and then 1981 levels. And then from there, we go back to 1972. Then I think it was 1959 levels. And then it goes back to 1929, I think after that is the last biggest or the biggest change in markets. The Black Swan approaches. Wow. Okay, we got comments flying here. We got Axel Rose. So let's see what's going on here in the comments. We got Tignim says, Jesus is coming soon. Real Kevin Thompson says, people work for me. Axel Rose says, living off child support. And Papa Piss says, Viva la Quebec. And then Stephen Sewell says, JT missed the bus for his UN position. Yeah, I heard about that today. JT was pretty upset. Yeah. What else? Real Kevin Dobson says, I'm like Mike, no job. Lord Humunga says, it's hard to see on video. Steven says, Quebec, too much spent on lottery tickets. Craig Cook in the house. And yeah, rolling in. Everyone's starting to roll in nicely. Hopefully they don't cut off my stream. G-Man is saying it's an infinite housing boom. Well, if you keep pumping money into it and keep pumping money into markets that are very unstable and uncertain markets, and basically what's happening is they're buying out the economy. Okay, everyone's rolling in. Thanks, guys. Okay, so let's go back to more of Canada here. Canada's largest real estate market see a drop in new permanent residents. Uh-oh. So what does that mean? Canada's immigration has slowed due to the pandemic, at least for a few months. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, data shows a steep decline in the number of new permanent residents in April. The drop is one of the sharpest in recent history, with the large real estate markets most impacted. Yeah, this is going to impact the real estate markets. Let's go to article scan here, because a lot of the housing that does a lot of the big end housing, like the tear down for $2 million. Canadians don't buy that. Canadians can't afford to buy that. That's immigration that buys that. Big money. fewer permanent residents admitted to Canada. But we're still we still have open flights to China and stuff. But I think with the restrictions in China, it's making it hard. So Canadian permanent resident admissions. Here it is, guys. Here's the graph right behind my fat head. Let me just move it over here so you guys can see a bit better. There it is. It's going down. Wow, it's going really down. Because on average, May, July, September, November. Yeah, so on average, we get lots of permanent residents come in. Toronto sees 84% fewer permanent residents in April. Canadian permanent residents admissions has changed. So here's the admissions change. There it is, going down, kapoo, right down to my fat head. And then Vancouver sees 91% fewer permanent residents in April. Canadian permanent residents admissions by market. Ooh. So what markets are we looking at? Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal, all going down. And Montreal sees 94% fewer permanent residents in April, and Canadian permanent resident admissions change by market, all going down. There it is. That's Toronto, Vancouver, and Montreal. They're all going down here. Yep. So that's what's happening. Less people come into the country means less homes will be selling. And Canada is very heavily binged. I did a video on this. Let's just do a... Guys, YouTube is not promoting any of my stuff. So if you guys don't mind going over... Oh, we got some rents here. Let's throw that up there. And let's go some rent talk here. And let's put this over here. I did a video on that I really want you guys to watch. Unfortunately, none of my stuff's getting pushed anymore, so nothing's getting any more views like it used to. So here it is. Canada needs more Chinese to cure economic woes. I'm not saying that. Really I'm not saying that. That's what this is saying. This is what the article's saying. So I'm going to leave a link here if you guys want to watch it later, or open a window or something on the side, or click watch later. I really want you guys to watch this video. It has barely any views, but it's so important on how what is happening and how Canada basically sold itself out to the highest bidder to win out for votes and keeping the crappy economy afloat. So if you can, maybe bookmark it to watch that later if you guys don't mind. Okay. All right. So, largest drop in permanent residents. Canadian home sales fall over 39%, with Toronto leading the market lower. So, remember, guys, not Canadian home prices are going down, is Canadian home sales. Don't get confused, because people thinking that prices are dropping. No, sales are dropping. Canadian real estate sales aren't falling as much as the month before, but remain substantially lower. Canadian Real Estate Association data shows that more home sales fell in every major market in May. The decline in sales was smaller than the month before, but it still remains at one of the lowest volumes in decades. So that's it from Better Dwelling. I kind of wanted to cover that, but this is important. And this one here, holy, what a punch in the gut. What a punch in the gut. TransUnion Canadian non-mortgage credit delinquency soar to 2015 levels. So you got a lot of these economists, a lot of these forecasters saying, like, yeah, housing sales, people will go bankrupt, delinquent on their mortgages and blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's okay. But no one's talking about the sub-debt. When I say sub-debt, credit cards, lines of credit, auto loans, Netflix, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Listen to me, I say. This is a big deal. This is a huge deal. So Blunt News is saying, best channel on YouTube. Thank you, Blunt News. Axel Rose saying, Mike, I could grow your Instagram to 10K followers by Labor Day. Craig Cook says, yes, Lord. I'm doing a lot of work for the Mike Martin's channel, Killing the Algorithms, says Lord Humongous. Mitch Madden says, Germany has a good system for testing, guiding, and developing students towards their strengths. with regard to their productive contribution to society, i.e., trades, profession, and government, etc. When I went back in my late teens to visit Portugal, I went to see the high school family that was in high school there, and I'm like, where are they? They're like, oh no, they go to work. They come to school for 1 hour or 2 hours, and then they go to work for 5 hours. Oh, where do they go? Oh, one's a mechanic. The other one's working at an optometrist. The other one's working at my other cousin was working at a optometrist, pharmacist. What was the other one? I don't know what it was, but it was some sort of contracting position, right? But that's how they do it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what's a good small business to start now? You know, guys, you know what I've been doing? I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm getting a sign made. We buy silver, gold, and coins on my store. I'm just going to be buying silver and gold and just going from there. Yeah, so that's what's happening there. So, okay, guys, comments are flowing nicely. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Woo! Okay, so TransUnion Canadian non-mortgage credit delinquency soared to 2015. I'm going to keep saying that because you know what? In 2 months or 3 months from now, we're going to be at 2008 levels. Trust me. Mike Martins, you heard that Aunt's Jemima syrup? Yes. I saw that today. They're going to start attacking Twinkies. No, that actually Twinkies represents someone of the white folk. I think they won't, they won't be targeting that. Okay. Let's go back to Canada real quick. We did America. America's got some big news in California. I think it's too little too late in my opinion. But what the hell do I know, right? I can't even read. The average rent for price for apartments in Toronto just keeps dropping. So they've been advertising in Toronto rents, but what they've been doing with the rents, guys, is really interesting. They're actually giving away free rent. Hey, you rent for me for a year, we'll give you a month free. And then 2 doors down in the same condominium, one guy is offering you rent for me for a year, you get 3 months free. And then four doors down, you rent for me, you get 5 months free. I'm not kidding. There are some people that are so desperate to get their places rented, and they'll ready to do a lease and give you like 4 or 5 months free rent. So we got Gary Medeiros in the house. We got Gino in the house as usual. Craig Cook in the house. Lord Humongous says, how much for the Batcoin, Mikey? Oh, I'll just give it to you, man. I'm not going to charge you for it. I'll mail it to you if you want. I don't have a problem giving you that. It's not a big deal. Rent drops are good. You know, it's winter and we have a water shortage. That's right, in New Zealand. Farmer's daughter says, hey, yeah, took my idea on the silver and gold coins. You'll be great at it, but you'll need to up your security. My security, believe it or not, for a toy store, for what I have, is pretty beefed up. I got an alarm system that can be heard 3 blocks away in 2 hidden locations. And then I got the cameras that upload to a cloud. So if they take the system and say, oh, we got this one, it's on a cloud. And there's someone living next door to my store and behind my store that are always keeping their ears open after I leave. So, yeah, I'm not too worried. So the average rent price for apartments in Toronto just keeps dropping. So there it is. We may have shaggy hair, sun-deprived skin, and credit card bills filled with embarrassingly high Uber Eats charges. But Toronto residents are reaping at least one benefit from being locked down for the past 3 months: cheaper rent. This only applies to those looking for a new place, of course, and it's unlikely your landlord will lower your rent you're already paying, or in some cases not paying. So here it is, guys. This is what's happening across Canada, and you're seeing the drops in rent. So this is a 1-bedroom, okay? This is for a 1-bedroom. Guys, you're not. So, my friends living in the United States watching this, pay attention to this because you're not gonna. People in Australia would believe it, but people in the U.S. will not believe this. So, a one bedroom in Toronto, $2,800. Vancouver, $2,100 for a one bedroom in Vancouver, Toronto, $2,100 in Vancouver, $1,750 in Burnaby. Which reminds me of an email I got to follow up with you guys. Victoria, BC, 1,600. Barrie, Ontario, 1,490. Montreal, Quebec, 1,450. Kelowna, BC, 1,440. Ottawa, Ontario, 1,440. Oshawa, Ontario, 1,300. Kitchener, Ontario, 1,350. And Hamilton, Ontario, 1,350. So there it is, guys, for a one bedroom. That's crazy. 2,180 in Toronto tops the cake, and then Vancouver, 2,100. Those two cities are so overpriced, you guys have no idea. And then when you get there, you think you're paying to be in Beverly Hills or something. Then once you get there and check it out, you're like, I'm paying $2,180, and there's people pushing shopping carts outside my house. There's people shooting up at the bus stop like 100 feet away from my window. Yeah. Yes, there are. Yes. And that's what you're paying for when you're living in these big cities. Like, the amount of people dancing on the streets, and they're not dancing because it's caravana or carnaval. They're dancing because they're high on something. And it's all over these big cities. You go there, you see people dancing at the bus stops. And they don't have headphones on. So Red Pill Millennial says even the outskirts, it should be under $1,000 for a one bedroom. You need a car to drive. Yeah. Well, even in the outskirts, in the Tri-Cities, in the Quad Cities, and you're going out into area codes and different time zones, it's still expensive. Canada's screwed. These are our major cities right here. Okay? And if you ask me, we have Texas. Texas has more major cities than all of Canada does. I'm willing to bet. I've been through Texas. There's so many major cities in Texas. I couldn't believe my eyes. More than all of major cities in Canada. And some of these, like are not considered major cities here. Like here in Canada. So Vancouver is. Victoria really isn't a major city. It's like a suburb. Cal. What's Cal? Kelowna, it's not a major city. I think it's like 80,000 people, right? So, and Texas has probably 30, 40, 50 cities with 80,000 people in it. So it's nothing in comparison to Canada. Yeah, Papa Pissed is saying Canada is 7 towns off of one highway, Highway 1. Hay is for horses, okay? All right, let's get back to it. Burnaby rents spiked nearly 12% despite pandemic report. So rents are going up in Burnaby 12%. And 80% of Canada's cities on our report had flat or negative rent changes, said news release. But unfortunately, in Burnaby, Burnaby is like right on the border of Vancouver. Like it borders Vancouver. Okay. Toronto real estate market is suddenly on fire again. So this is from 2 days ago. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Unemployment is at all-time high. Millions of people are without jobs. And I'm buying and selling oil on swings. I should have sold this morning, but I was an idiot. I held. So hopefully tomorrow bounces back. If not, I'm going to sell. I'm still up quite a bit buying oil and gold and silver swings. But how is that even possible with unemployment at an all-time high, nobody with a job, but housing selling? Because Canadians aren't buying it. Somebody that comes to Canada with money to buy a house doesn't need to work in Canada to buy the house because they already own the house. Oh, Aquarius lives in Burnaby. I go through there all the time. I might go visit Aquarius. Maybe we'll have a meetup of people in the area, like in Burnaby, Vancouver area. So Laurel Scratcher says, Craig Cook, you heard Atlanta police officers got charged by self-defense. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, there's too much. That divide and conquer thing is very dangerous, guys. They wrote books on divide and conquer. So if you're looking for a COVID discount on your next property, you better not be searching here, because you won't find it. So there it is, guys. If you're looking for a COVID deal in Toronto, buyers have hit pause for 2 months, but it's not like they lost their buying desire altogether. Past list suggests that they asked why he believes in the market is seeing the amount of action it currently experiencing. People who were out of the game, they're jumping back in. There it is. Home prices in Toronto aren't dropping. Is that the supply and demand have fallen in tandem, meaning while fewer houses are for sale, fewer buyers in the previous years. Because both have fallen equally, the demand of buyers is still strong relative to the supply of sellers. So much so, in fact, that the Toronto real estate is still very much a seller's market. So we have Kevin Thompson in the house who could attest to this, who has a condo in Oakville, Ontario. Vancouver rents falling during COVID crisis, Craigslist data shows. So here it is, guys. City of Vancouver. Vancouver rents have been falling since the start of COVID crisis and are down by as much as 15% for some types of apartments, according to data pulled by Craigslist rental listings. The data shows that the median rents for unfinished one-bedrooms have fallen by 2% from $1,850 a month to $1,800 between May 2019 and May 2020. Rent rates for two-bedrooms have dropped by 7%. The median rent for two-bedroom in May in 2020 was $2,600 compared to $2,800 by 2019. So there it is, guys. Vancouver rents. And Vancouver rental homes listings now offering months off free rent. So there's a lot of students that are not coming in right now. And these students, it's pretty bad. 700 square foot apartment, $2,700. One bedroom, 700 square foot apartment, $2,900. So it's not cheap still, but they're offering free months. So what they do is they raise the price of the rent to offset the extra free months. It's like when you go to a shoe store, you put a sign in the window, buy one shoe, get the other shoe free. That's a deal and a half. I saw that once in a shoe store when I went, where was I? I wasn't in Mexico. Where was I? I think I was in Santo Domingo in Dominican Republic. I went to a shoe store and it had a sign that says buy one shoe, get the next shoe free, which is a really good deal. And that's what they're doing. They raise the rent, they raise the price on the rent, and then they offer you a few months free, and then the raised price of the rent offsets for the free rent. So Aquarius is saying, I'm going to have a rent increase coming next year or so. The last one was 5 years when we moved in for $250. Wow. Yeah, and then at the end, they take your security deposit. Yeah, I forgot about that one. The security deposit. They go ahead and take that away at the end, too. Now this is important. Vancouver police arrest 46 people in refusing to leave the CRAB Park Tent City. So now people are being arrested who live in tent cities. Let's go to article scan, please. Let's go here and see. Oh, there's drums too.
Roving homeless encampment, Strathcona Park is the new space they're sharing with those who call this neighborhood home. This latest iteration has even taken on a new name, Camp KT. K for Kennedy Stewart, T for Justin Trudeau.
Yeah!
To create the stigma of homeless people being dangerous and
Justin Trudeau camp.
And addicts and something you should be scared of. And when people really stop and have an opportunity to talk to people here, they realize they're not that scary.
People we spoke with didn't want to draw any quick conclusions.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. Yeah. And we don't really know what it's all about, but it looks like there's some signage up, and we're going to go and read up and educate ourselves on it.
I didn't even know that it was actually going on.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
They come, they stay, and maybe if they have good ethics, they will dump the garbage in the garbage bin. If they are not, then nothing you can do.
This new camp sprung up quickly, again in response, they say, to the lack of adequate housing, something the Minister for Social Development and Poverty Reduction says they're working on.
Part of the challenge of this, of course, is that to meet immediate needs, traditional housing approaches don't work very well. You need to be able to...
Well, a lot of builders aren't building anymore. A lot of builders aren't building anymore for affordable housing. Now, okay, I wouldn't say affordable housing or government projects. They're not building anymore for the average wage earner. They want to build housing for the rich. They couldn't care less, right? So let's keep listening here what they have to say.
Months. But as you know, to do purpose-built housing often takes years.
60 people left Crab Park, many heading to the new encampment, but 46 refused to leave, remaining behind to protest the Vancouver Fraser Port Authority's injunction. All of them arrested, facing a charge of contempt of court.
I just have so much respect for those people that have stepped up. There were so many people here that really wanted to be there till the end, but they're homeless and
They got some music going there.
arrested and
So that's what's happening there in Vancouver, where they're just evicting. 10 cities are getting shut down. And let's move on. All right, let's go into a little bit more international. Let's go head off to Europe before we go to Australia. Article scan, please. So, guys, here it is. Spanish real estate is heading for its second crash in a decade. Yeah, that's pretty harsh. All regions here. So here is Castilla and Leon, Navarra, Madrid. They're all heading towards negative territory. And Spain's $6 trillion home market looks it's headed towards another crash, according to the economists who are studying the impact on property demands stemming from Europe's strictest pandemic lockdown. While it's too early to estimate the full dimensions of the blow to demand caused by the healthy emergency that flared up in March, experts who study the Spanish market says the hit on housing prices in 2020 could range from 6.5 to 15%. Experts warn. So we're heading over to Australia right now. This is a pretty big deal here. Yeah, Serenity Now's got it right. Building non-luxury condos in Vancouver is unprofitable. And then when you go see a luxury condo in Vancouver and you walk in and check it out, you're looking around like, this is a luxury condo? Like, everything's a condo in Vancouver. Luxury. You go look at it and it's like, this is like a regular apartment. There's like nothing going on here. Yeah, JT. Well, he shouldn't be so sad he didn't get that position there on the, what do you call it? The, whatever it is, position he was going for. They named a tent city after him. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's keep going. Experts warn of a housing time bomb when COVID rent laws expire and welfare halves. So welfare is going to go back to halves, and so is going to be people that have lost their jobs are going to have a really tough time either making their mortgages or making their payments on their rent in Australia. National Cabinet urged to adopt new measures to protect tenants bearing the burden of the economic lockdown. So here it is. So they're I don't know how the evictions are going to work in some countries. RBA, Reserve Bank of Australia, saw Australian house prices falling 7% over the next year. So people going into the housing market right now in Australia better think twice, because if it looks like it's going to dip 7%, the average house in Australia, like a house like this in Australia, like you're seeing here in the pictures, those houses start at like $3, $4, $5 million. So you're going to be taking a massive haircut. Australia's central bank expected house prices to fall 7% this year, ahead of its baseline scenario for COVID. Documents from May released under Freedom of Information request showed. So that's it right there. The official unemployment rate could be more than double what's been reported. Here's why there might be 1.2 million Australians missing. Again, Australia's begun a slow jobs recovery effort, getting an estimated 69,000 people back to work in May, according to Roy Morgan. The research house's figures paint a bleak picture of the job market, putting unemployment at 14.8% compared to the official ABS figure of 6.2%. It's about 15% right now there in Australia, so it's actually a pretty big deal. And to me, that's the first country that's going to fall hard. The discrepancy comes largely from using different definitions of unemployment. Yeah, so they're always using different terminology and words. So they're starting to get people back to work so they can jumpstart this economy, because this economy is not doing well right now. Okay, where were we? UK unemployment rising faster than the Great Depression. So the United Kingdom, the number of people in the UK claiming job-related benefits increased by a monthly 23.3% in May to 2.8 million. According to official figures released Tuesday that likely underestimate the toll of the labor market and the COVID lockdown. The Office of National Statistics said that the so-called claimant count could include both people who work on reduced income or hours. Those who were actually unemployed was 125.9% higher than in March. So people are having a tough time with this unemployment. It rise to 2.8 million in the United Kingdom. And then we got this thing here. Canada to extend CERB. This is very dangerous for those still delaying with temporary job losses. So Canada right now is going to be sending out more checks. So currently, CERB can be claimed up to 16 weeks, which means some would see benefits expire as soon as July. As of June 4th, the government has paid $43.5 billion of CERB benefits, and to some 8.4 million people had applied for at least one payment. Whoa! We will continue to be there to support Canadians in need, Trudeau said in the news conference, adding he would provide more details about the extension in the coming days. Whoa, guys, watch out! Watch out, man, because all you need is basically the government after you for money. That's the last thing you need in your life. All right, let's head over to the where is this? Where is this? I don't know where this is. All right. Independent consultants hit hard by job losses. So if you're an independent consultant, 14% of global development professionals say they lost their job as a result of COVID pandemic, with independent consulting among those hardest hit. That's a big deal. The increased number of professionals say they are someone or they know have lost their job, 39% in the latest survey compared to 34%. That's a big deal. And U.S. layoffs continue as another 1.5 million Americans filed for unemployment last week. 10th straight week of declining claims, but still more than 1 million new jobless. 1.5 million laid off workers applied for U.S. unemployment benefits last week. What about the ones that don't qualify for unemployment? What's happening with that? No one's talking about that, eh? White House demands to end the $600 per week emergency unemployment pay. That's from today. Is that from today? That's from yesterday. So White House is going to cut back on support. And this is from today's news or something. 1 million jobs gone in 2 months. The dismal state of Australia's job market is revealed as the unemployment rate soars towards a 10% forecast. We think it's 15%. New South Wales unemployment hits almost 8% as the COVID recovery starts. Yeah, that's New South Wales. Mass migrants lengthen Australia's unemployment queue. So experts say the number of migrants are arriving in Australia with a formal post-schooling qualifications highlights the economic benefits of migration and need to return to normal levels as soon as possible post-COVID. More than two-thirds of, or 69% of new migrants to Australia come with formal post-schooling education qualifications, according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics. let's keep going here. Millions of jobs lost from COVID are never coming back. So it's a Zero Hedge article. Zero Hedge lost its funding from its AdSense guys. Zero Hedge is no longer getting paid with advertising anymore because the far left think that it's dangerous to have fake journalism out there. But then what is the mainstream media? That's the worst journalism on the planet. Holy smokes. All right. And then CEO asks employees to lie on time cards or risk job losses, violating labor laws. So there it is, guys. If you work in a job and they're telling you to lie on your time cards or risk job losses, wow. So you could lose your job if you don't lie, cut back the hours of your work. That's how it works, guys. All right, let's go over to oil real quick. The U.S. has already lost more than 100,000 oil and gas jobs. That's a big deal, especially coming from the state of Texas and Alaska, too. Alaska's got a bit of oil up there, too. Oil markets may not fully recover until 2022. So I've been trickle buying oil. There's a company that I buy, that I trickle buy with some of the profits I make off other stocks. And I trickle buy a stock that pays close to 6% dividends, and it's called IPL, International Pipeline or something, IPL. You'll see it on the Toronto Stock Exchange, and I think it's on other stock exchanges too. And I trickle buy that stock very slowly with a little bit of profits, because that one pays a 6% dividend, and on $1 million, that's $60,000 a year in dividend payments. I could take it in cash or stock. So I kind of wanted to throw that out there. So you could trickle buy into some commodities and see what happens with that. So we have the markets open right now. So let's see where things are. The All Ordinaries are at 6,013. The ASX 200 is at 5,896, down 95. Australian to US dollar is taking a beating at 68 cents. Woo, it's dropping fast. Oil still at 37.35 a barrel, down 61 cents. Gold is trying to keep its head above water at 17.35. Bitcoin is at 13.77 Australian dollars. I don't know what that is. And let's check and see what's happening. Oh, the Hang Seng right now is open. They are down 244 points. The Nikkei 225 is down 226 points, sitting at 22,229. The DAX, it's still open right now as we speak. Is the DAX still open? No. Everybody, yeah. Everybody that's in Europe, everybody back off. It's closed. But the Nikkei's open right now, and the Hang Seng's open right now. And that's the market, and the All Ordinaries in Australia. Big problems, guys. Some gold. So it's email time, guys. I got an email from Andrew. So he emailed me a few times saying, man, Mike, I want to move to America. And this was like 2 years ago he messaged me this. This is when I was still at my old store, like across the street from my other store, from where I'm at now. He messaged me and said, hey, Mike, sold my home in Burnaby, $1.7 million last week. Had it listed for $1.9 million. Sold it to some foreign investors. We closed yesterday, and I only owed $433,000 on the mortgage. Really good. Got a job in just outside of Daytona, Florida, buying a fixer-upper and looking to spend $40,000 in renos. I've been there twice to see the home. Link below. So let's look at the house that Drew wants to buy. Here it is, guys. So this is the house he wants to buy. It's a fixer-upper. Let me give you the details on the house first. Hold on. It is a 7-bedroom, 5-bath. The house is 7,018 square feet. And he said he's going to buy it free and clear with the proceeds he made on his home sale. And yeah, he's going to put he fell in love with the house. Real estate agent took him to see the house, and he was looking at it and eyeing and looking at the potential. There's the back of it here. It's on 2.5 acres of land. So he says it needs it's poured concrete, so it's very strong foundation. So he's gonna get someone to come in and paint, air paint. You got to paint the speckled the poured concrete. You got to paint it, right? And inside, it's very well. There's a lot of things. The windows, some of the windows, he says, are new. They're just boarded. And all the windows are boarded, he said, but it's not bad. He says it needs a little bit of TLC. The house is enormous. He says you could have 4 parties in there. These are all the rooms, very poorly lit. Some of them do have chandeliers and lighting, some of them don't. So there it is right there. That's the property he's looking at. And what is that going to cost him? $204,000 US, that's 3060. So that's about 260 Canadian. Right? So 260 Canadian, but he's buying it free and clear. It's just outside of Daytona Beach, and where he's working. He is a certified registered nurse anesthesiast. Whatever that means. And I think this is the property, this is the taxes on it. It's $28 a month. Yeah, so it's listed by the bank. It's a foreclosure property. Yeah. So the property has an unpaid balance of $923,000. But that's from years ago. Okay. That's why it's been sitting there, and then the bank just wants $204,000. Unfortunately, in Canada, we don't have these kind of opportunities in Canada, because when a foreclosure property goes for foreclosure, you're paying like what the average home goes for in Canada. So this type of house in Canada with 2 acres of land, is this 2 acres of land? 2.5 acres of land. You're looking in Canada for something like this. You're looking at easily, outside of a major city, $3-4 million for a house this big, 7,000 square feet. You'll never get anything, you know. So there it is, $204,000. So it's been on the market for 302 days. Let's get a street view of this thing. There's the house. And there's your cul-de-sac. That's perfect. Look at that house. That's a nice home. That's perfect. That's like, look at the cul-de-sac. You got all this land back here. Look at that. You have an iron gate in your front entrance. This does not buy you a parking spot in Vancouver. The price of this house, if you were to sell this house in this condition, $204,000 US, you couldn't even buy a parking spot in Vancouver. You couldn't. A 1-bedroom is like $800,000. How do you figure? So that's what Drew's looking at. There's a couple of other properties. He told me to look out for properties for him, like if we're on the show. Here's the area he's in, just outside. I've been looking for him just outside of Daytona Beach here. I've been looking at properties. There's a couple of good ones, but they're almost 20-minute drive. And people are like, Mike, I drive into Sydney or I drive into Vancouver 2 hours per day. What's a 20-minute drive? You want to be free. You don't want to be a slave to the wheel, right? All right, let's get a caller on the show. Let's see who we got here. Who wants to talk housing, guys? Anybody out there want to talk about La Casa? Guys, if you notice, I'm not getting a lot of views on the video. Unfortunately, I don't know what's happening with the channel. All my videos are getting almost no views on them. And very discouraging, but what are you going to do, right? Oh, there's a house here that's probably a 20-minute drive. This is up on Flagler Beach for him. It's 314. It looks like, yeah, this thing does not need any renos, but it doesn't have, it has land. It's 314, but it doesn't have a lot of land, though. It has a backyard. Nice entrance. Nice. A very dated kitchen, but that's okay. The rooms have been renovated, flooring, everything. A lot of big rooms, though. But, I don't know. I still like the other house, that 7-bedroom, 7,000 square feet house. You could have like 2 parties in that house, I swear to God, at the same time. I like this atrium that looks down. That looks pretty nice. Whoa, look at that walk-in closet. Whoa, look at that garage, man. You could have 2 parties in that garage. What? All right, so there's a couple of good houses in the area, affordable houses you could pick up. Where's this one? Oh, this one's in the same area, $249. 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 3,300 square feet. Ooh, it's been on the market for 260 days. But if this was in Toronto for $300,000, this thing would be gone in 3 minutes. This thing's not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Lots of good homes in that area. Yeah, so beautiful house, Mike, says Greg Cook. Yeah. And it's like a quarter of the price of the homes in New Zealand. All right, let's see who we could get on the phone here. Who is out there? Let's call Steve, man. I can't get a, I talk to Steve off air a lot, but a lot of people don't even know I'm live anymore. Oh, he's unavailable. No big deal. No big deal. Let me see if Lord Humongous is still there in the thing. See what's happening in his neck of the woods. Nobody home with Lord Humongous. Man, everyone's out to lunch. Everyone, I'm not in a bad way. Mike, you are getting a poor performance in YouTube. Oh, big time. Huge time. Huge time. I don't know how much longer the channel will be up. They're going to keep doing this until, yeah. Tig Nim says, Mike, I watch all your vids. Thank you so much. Let's see. K-Pack saying, Mike, why don't you have a vacation home in the U.S. if you see good value there? The problem with having anything in the U.S. right now, it's not because of I'm not even worried about that stuff that's going on right now. It's just, I have a really tough time getting into the U.S. Like when I go visit the United States, I have a really tough time crossing the border. Like one time they strip searched me, and then the other time they held me like in a prison cell for like 3 hours, and then they let me in. You know, I've never done anything wrong. I've never committed any crimes. I've never been arrested, ever. And I've never been charged. And every time I try to go to the U.S., I'm always like put in prison. You know what I'm saying? Papa Piss says many channels are being throttled. You know what, guys? We have each other. Look, Papa Piss here. Red Pill Millennial. Craig Cook. Donair. Bert718. We got Axel Rose. We got everybody's here. We're all here. You know what I'm saying? If no one knows we're here, then, oh well. You know what I'm saying? If no one knows these channels exist, less and less people will stop coming on YouTube. I don't even go on, like, for me to watch videos now, I'm watching other things now. Like, I go on YouTube, it's like, it's so censored. They cancel the comments on everything, so you can't comment on anything. It's like, yeah. Halifax is getting pricey, says Omar 2. Yeah, Halifax, the east coast of Canada, is getting really pricey right now and hard to find anything. Aquarius is saying that's not right. You should file a complaint every time. I'm not even gonna. I won't even entertain that because there's no point. It's their country, right? They have a right to refuse entry into their country, right? Any country has a right to refuse entry. Canada's different, right? Unless you're Portuguese, they'll put you on a plane, right? But you know, Canada's very different, right? Okay, who do we got here? Who can we call? Who's available? Who's alive? Mitch. Hey, let's talk to our buddy Mitch. See if he's, I think I saw him yeah, he's in the comments. Canada's very different, right? Mitch?
Yeah, Mike.
How are you, my brother?
Good. I was just thinking about different ways to finance property.
Uh-huh. Tell us.
Well, most of the properties that I bought in my heyday were either owner carry, all cash, or fully assumable loans, where I just paid a small fee to assume a loan after I cashed out their equity.
Oh,
So I seldom, I think I only used a bank on my personal properties, about 12 properties. I only used a bank twice, I think, for financing. All cash, fully assumable, or owner carry contracts. And I also, on some of the sales, I also carried my own contract. And on a couple, I got 10% interest on a 10-year fully amortized loan twice. And that was pretty sweet.
that's good.
But there's still, when I looked at your going around the websites looking at property across the U.S., it just came to me that there are still a lot of opportunities in America.
Oh, there's a whole bunch. This guy that sent me the email who sold his house in Burnaby, British Columbia for $1.7 million. And if you probably look at the property, you could buy the same house in Houston for 90 grand.
Yes.
So he's looking at a place outside of Daytona, and he has a job as a certified registered nurse anesthesiast. And he's been there twice and for the job and the interview, and he's been looking at homes. So he sent me links of homes. He wants to buy this 7-bedroom, 5-bath house, and he's looking to put $40,000 into renovations. He saw it already. The house is, I'll show you guys on Article Scan. The house is enormous. It has 2.5 acres, and I don't know, man. If you got a good job like that, and you have other ones for $240, $279. There's a lot of land for sale. 3 acres, $99,000 right by the beach. It's like, I don't know what to say, Mitch. It's getting for us Canadians, even Australians, we're really screwed.
Yeah, I don't know what the solution is for you guys. You do have a lot of natural resources. And
no, we don't. China owns them. China owns our biggest coal mine, and China now is buying up 3 more gold mines next week.
Well, you've got just the worst leadership in the world. There's no reason why Canada should not have affordable housing and plenty of jobs. There's no reason, except poor leadership.
Oh, that's terrible. Our leadership is absolutely terrible. Our prime minister was working hard towards getting a seat in the United Nations, and apparently they declined him today.
Oh boy, I actually feel sorry. Canadians are very highly regarded around the world. In general, Canadians are considered very good, decent, people with a good work ethic, and I just feel sorry in a way for Canadians. It's the country doesn't have much of a future without a radical change in leadership.
There needs to be some sort of. The problem is, do you know, Mitch? A lot of people up here, when Donald Trump won the election, if I put up a picture of Donald Trump in my store or something, or I talk about him or something, people look at me like I committed the biggest crime on the planet, that I should not be allowed into Canada, that I should be sent to the gulag somewhere. You know what I'm saying? It's phenomenal. And so many people in Canada supported Hill Dog. A lot of people supported her in Canada.
Well, then perhaps it's not just the leadership of Canada. Perhaps it's the pervasive mindset amongst a significant amount of the populace in Canada that's causing the downward spiral of Canada.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It may have something to do with the kind of a socialist type of bent that eventually, like Margaret Thatcher said, the problem with socialism is eventually you run out of other people's money.
Yeah. And then you're going to have to start printing money, and then you start overinflating the people that do have any savings, and then they start to lose everything. And they're going to make it illegal to buy gold. They're going to make it illegal to store wealth. They're going to make it illegal for a lot of things. And guess what? They're going to go to cryptocurrency. And, on this channel, I don't know if you remember, but a year and a half ago, I was talking about how they're going to go crypto. or they're going to go to some digital currency. They're going to eliminate cash. Once they eliminate cash, they could go ahead and start imposing negative interest rates or bank implosions where they take savings out of people's savings account. They did it in Italy and they did it in Greece and they did it in Cyprus, and they look like they're going to be doing it in Germany too.
Yeah, well, that's the strictly digital currency and the removal of the ability to own a firearm are the last two vestiges of any sense of liberty and independence, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going to happen, Mitch. In Canada, I don't see the direction of where things are headed, to be honest with you.
Well, they'll continue to recruit millions of more Chinese,
wealthy Chinese,
and the Chinese people, by and large, are hardworking. They're actually on the whole, I think they rate about a half a deviation higher IQ than the Western Europeans, and those have traditionally in the Western world have been considered the cream of the crop. As far as innovation and architecture and anyway, so the Chinese have a positive aspect if they can assimilate. If any people can be a positive, but you have to take them modestly, because they need time to assimilate. If you bring in too many at once, they create their own communities, their own language, and they become kind of against the country that they immigrated to. You know what I mean? They need to become part of Canada if they're going to be coming in there. And you can't take millions and millions of them in a short period of time and expect them to assimilate.
They've taken in 500,000 per year for the last 5-6 years, and none of them converted into Canadianism or became Canadian, right? A lot of the places now that are heavily Chinese populations in Canada, a lot of signs are not even in English anymore.
Yeah, then they become more like an
autonomous region,
a province of China.
Yeah, an autonomous region of China. Our biggest mines are owned by China, and we're losing everything to China. We're losing everything to the highest bidder, and it's someone, Johnny D, is saying the caller is describing Richmond to a T. Basically, it's Richmond, British Columbia, that's south of Vancouver, is like, it's basically like China. Right? And I don't say it in a bad way. Like, you look at the banks, like our main banks in Canada, they're all written in Chinese. The signs and everything, it's not even in English. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, because if it was Russians there or Italians, I would say it would be Little Italy there or Little Russia there, but it's not. It's Little China. It's not Little China, it's Big China, right? So that's what's happening right now. We are losing. See, unfortunately, Canada, Texas, and I brought this up, Mitch, a few times. Texas has more major cities than all of Canada does. And our problem with that is we don't have a lot of places to run, Mitch. Like, if it wasn't for this city, I probably would have nowhere to go in Canada. So where do the Canadians go, the hardworking Canadians with business and all that stuff that can't afford to live in their own country because it's so damn expensive? Where would they go? It's hard for me to, like, if I want to visit the U.S., they put me in a jail cell for 3 hours the last time I went.
Mike, have you come to any conclusion about the reason why Canada hasn't started development of new cities?
I don't think Canada could afford to do anything like that, because when it's new cities, then it's the municipalities are going to have to create infrastructure, roads, bridges. It won't work. They could try. I mean, it worked before with Wagons West, but they could try their best. The problem is there's no more money in the coffers for the governments. They've been giving away all our money, and I don't know if I told you this, Mitch, but in Canada, the Lower Mainland in British Columbia, where the temperature is slightly mild, did you know that we sold out most of that farmland for Chinese investors to build mega mansions on them?
Oh boy,
we did. And we sold a farm, and I'm gonna see BC farm sells 100 times over asking. Let's see if I
100 times over asking.
Yep, here it is. Farm in Richmond, BC, which is Little China, sells more than 100 times its assessed value to Chinese investors. Property sells for $9.2 million, despite being assessed at $85,000. It's an article here by CBC News. So here it is, guys. Article scan so you guys can see it. So farmland in Richmond, BC sells more than 100 times assessed value, $9.2 million, despite being assessed at $85,000. Mitch, the problem with Canada is, like, I think 50% of the foreign investing that happens in Canada are from foreign investors that have never visited Canada in their lives. So
well, that's not. You've gone over this particular type of scenario, and it's not good to have outside. In the 1980s in America, we had a similar problem with Japan. Japan was the wealthiest, most productive superstar in the world, and they bought. I think they bought Rockefeller Center or the Empire State Building. They bought the big golf course down there in Monterey. What's that big golf course down there? Big fancy golf course.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you. I just did not names.
Down where Clint Eastwood was the mayor of Carmel for one term, and Monterey and all that. The big. Anyway, Japan was buying up everything, and I remember because I was in the prime of my investment career, and I was involved in partnerships, and I was one of the few poor guys that were involved in these partnerships. Most of the guys had a lot of money, and Japanese money and what Japanese investments in America at that time were the big talk. People were saying eventually Japan's going to own all of America. Well, a few years later, 91, Japan collapsed, and it's never recovered. Now, they have China is different because they don't have quite the demographic problems that Japan had, and the natural resource problems, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, I don't know if China can sustain the level of productivity without some type of a serious interruption from war or famine or some kind of.
We had COVID.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that has changed the tide, and things. Problems were starting to develop in China anyway prior to COVID, just like they were in the West.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they had developed so much real estate that nobody was living in, and
41 million empty apartments.
Yeah, well, so many of these Chinese were buying 2 and 3 and 4 condos or apartments that were vacant, just as investments to sell them for more money. And China started printing money. 20 years ago, China didn't have any debt. They were really doing everything right. But now they've created all these trillions of dollars in debt as well. And then they're in a precarious situation, especially since COVID, because they were already suffering a downturn. But now they're facing the ire of the entire world because of this COVID. And there's going to be a big shifting in alliances and supply chains and where production is derived from in the world on different things. And China's going to lose a heck of a lot of business.
Mm-hmm. Oh, definitely. So it's going to be, I don't know what's going to happen, but I still, ringing in the back of my head, the story that investor told me, the guy told me about that investor, that he met a guy in China. They were at the casino hanging out in Macau. They were gambling, and they're like, "Oh, you're from Canada? Oh, yes. I own 370 properties in Canada, and I've never been to Canada." So Canada's in a world hurt of trouble. Even Mexico, you can't go and buy in Mexico. It's so hard for a foreigner to buy in Mexico.
Yeah, it's the same thing in the Philippines, and I'm hoping some night on Mike in the Night we can set aside a half an hour to talk about the Philippines. There's a lot to talk about over there, and you do have some followers that have a keen interest in Philippines, not just you and I.
Yeah. I actually, you know what? I'll get some photos for you guys. I'm actually building a home there right now. And my wife is like, "Okay, we're going to build a house on some land that I have there." And she showed me the pictures of land. I'm like, "Okay, great." Because we were supposed to go to the Philippines, then COVID hit, right?
Yeah, I
So
remember.
we got shafted. So here's the deal. So she says, "Okay, we'll send $600 a month for 6 months, and that will build this like a small 3-bedroom home." I'm like, "What?
About
$600 a
400,000
month for
pesos.
6 months?" And she's like,
400,000 pesos.
"Huh?"
About 400,000 pesos.
Yeah. And I'm like, "That could build us a house?" She says, "Yeah, they're gonna. She sent some money, so they already fenced off the area. They coordinated the area. They already got the sand from the beach to build the blocks, because they're gonna do cinder blocks, and they have the molds for them. And the next step is they want to ask us where the windows are gonna go, and they're asking us. It's a 2-story with a balcony upstairs in the master bedroom, and it's $600 a month for 6 months,
$3,600 US or Canadian?
Canadian."
Yeah, well, that's a lot. That's about maybe not even 200,000 pesos. That sounds too cheap.
No, my wife already owns the land for many years, right? She has the land. And the
Yeah,
workers there, it's on a tiny island.
what region?
It's like in like Palilio Island area.
Say that again.
Palilio Island. I'll show you guys photos. I'll even have my wife on the show if I can, if she wants to come on. She'll explain it. She already took photos of the partition they made in the land, and they're preparing. There's no basement, of course, and there's no frost level, of course, so you don't have a frost level. They're building it cinder block, and they're gonna the one thing that we're gonna install when we get there is solar power, and the one thing we're gonna install there when we get there are hurricane shutters in case there's a windstorm, and that's it. It's gonna be built cinder block, and rebarb, cinder block and rebarb going through the holes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've been around a lot of construction over there. What is it in the Visayas? In the Visayan Islands?
It's some islands on the like northeast of Manila. What I'll do, she has photos, like 25 photos so far that they brought of the work they've been doing, but it's her family that's doing it for her. So the work is actually getting done. I saw the photo. I'm like, "Oh my God, they did all this for $600." You know what I'm saying?
Is it in Aurora province?
I don't know exactly where it is. I was
Northeastern Luzon. There's 2 big mountain ranges in Luzon: the Sierra Madres and the Cordilleras. The Cordilleras are up north where the Ifugao, the rice terraces are, and the Sierra Madres are a little bit further south, but they run over to the east side of Luzon, Aurora province, and that's where the biggest typhoon. There's only 2 areas in the world where the big tropical cyclones come. They come from there. They come down the Atlantic and the Gulf down in America. In the east, the Caribbean and all that. And then over there, they hit that eastern Luzon area where you're talking about. So, yeah,
I don't
you should have
I don't know if it's there.
damn good.
Like my wife says, they get typhoons, but they don't get them often. They get them like once every couple of years. So, I'm going to ask her like to show me exactly. She showed me videos and photos of her island, and it's a fishing island, and they go fishing every day. She showed me photos like all the time on Facebook and what they're doing, what they're up to there, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to ask her to show me exactly, pinpoint it on the map for me, and then I'll let you know, Mitch, exactly where it is. I was just supposed to go there and see it for myself, right? And then stupid COVID thing hit. So, yeah, we're sending these people $600 a month, and they're actually getting work done on our land. So, and it's family too. So it's like cousins are helping out, and everyone's kind of chipping in.
Normally, Mike, from my 40 years experience in the Philippines and traveling there so many times and spending 2 years in the country traveling all around and being married to a Filipino for 13 years, normally, based on my experience, I would say absolutely don't ever send a dime to the Philippines or take a dime or invest a dime unless you're prepared to lose it. But in your situation, I feel comfortable that you're not flushing your money down the toilet. I feel comfortable with it.
No, it's not a huge amount of money that's being moved anyway. It gets sent through Western Union as like a gift, and they're actually doing work and like, because she showed me her grandma's house, and then she's gonna build like maybe one one football like a football field to east of her grandma's house. She's gonna build her house there, and she says she has coconuts there, so she wants to harvest coconuts.
Yeah. Be careful walking under a coconut tree.
Yeah. She wants to harvest coconuts, right? And she wants to harvest coconuts. And what's the other thing she says we could do there on that island? And fishing. We could do a lot of fishing if you want. But coconuts, she says, is a major export. Oh, and tobacco. I'm gonna grow a whole bunch of tobacco trees, man, and roll cigars.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, stuff like that. I would have done it this year, and I would have gone to see the house, like the construction and the progress. Unfortunately, once again, it's not the stupid COVID screwed up everybody.
Oh, Mike, you won't believe how everything grows over there. You can spit out papaya seeds all over the place, and within 2 years you'll have big papaya trees just loaded with ripe fruit. Everything grows there. Everything.
Yeah. So my wife and I want to see if we could build like a retirement. We have the small 3-bedroom home, and then she wants to build another home on another piece of land she owns in the downtown area of the island, and she wants to build later a house there. And she says that house is going to cost us about 12 to 15,000 US, but it's going to have a secondary floor for an apartment, and then 2 apartments, and then downstairs will be like a retail area.
Yeah, I prefer bungalow style over there, but the because the land is so dear over there that they have a tendency to, use a smaller footprint and then they build up. But I prefer just a ranch style or a bungalow style, just all one level for my own living, for my personal living, because they usually build staircases that are pretty damn steep, and it's a hassle to go up and down,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, yeah, I just wanted to call and touch base with you and see how you were doing and kind of get your input on that. So Mitch, are you shocked with this article? Like I know I memorized some of these articles. Farm in Richmond, BC sells for 100 times its assessed value. Property sells for 9.2 billion despite being assessed for 85,000. What does that tell you about Canada?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know all the details. I've seen things like that, not quite that radical, happen here. And the good news for the taxpayer is the new assessment, assuming that there's property tax, the new assessment should generate a lot more property tax for the government, and it should trickle down to the people or lighten the load of the burden on the taxpayer, at least in theory. But I don't know why it was assessed so low. I would have to know some more details.
Yeah. Well, the article's here. Farm in Richmond. I'm going to put the article in the comments. And no one's going to believe this. You tell this to somebody, they're going to look at you like you're weird. But yeah, 100 times over its assessed value. There it is there. Mitch, I'll put it in the comments there. Anyways, Mitch, I'm going to let you go. Let me know if you could come on Mike in the Night, man. We're going to be discussing some important things. I'll see if I can get my wife on for 20, 30 minutes, okay?
Oh, good. That sounds great. I'd like to chat Philippines, because that's one of my great interests.
We should talk Philippines because people are looking for places to escape to, right?
Yes, there's been more than a couple of people in the comments section on your site that have mentioned that they either have a wife or have an interest in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if there's Filipinos that are part of your membership, but I'm assuming that there is, your subscribers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when I was breaking down my views watched, my channel's weird because it's getting throttled. On average, every month I get 23,000 views a month from the Philippines, just from the Philippines, 20,000.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And also, I personally think that the Philippines is fascinating, and it's very little understood. As a matter of fact, I have never met a Filipino that knows very much about the Philippines, and I haven't met anyone from the West that knows anything about the Philippines. There's a lot of assumptions, but we can talk about that sometime when we set aside a time for on Mike in the Night.
We should. We should. Okay, Mitch, I'm going to let you go. We'll talk soon. And yeah, I left the link in the I'll put the link again in the comments, and we'll talk soon. Okay, buddy?
Okay, más que nada.
Más de nada. What's that?
Hey, what does "v" mean?
Who?
V.
Vo?
V.
The?
In Portuguese, my friend used to call his grandfather V.
Oh, no, vavu.
Vavu?
Yeah.
And what about bacalhau?
Bacalhau is codfish.
Okay, my friend's grandpa, he's from Portugal. He used to call his best friend bacalhau.
Hey, bacalhau. That means, hey, codfish.
I don't know the story behind it. Okay, Mike, good night.
Good night. That is Mitch Madden from Oregon State. Oregon State calling in to trends in the housing market. Man, we covered a lot of housing discussion in tonight's show. It doesn't seem like it, but we covered a lot of housing discussion tonight. We covered almost every territory of English speaking. I think we didn't cover New Zealand, but we covered everything else. And whether it's jobs or rents decreasing or rents increasing, we actually covered a lot in such a short time. Let's get one last caller on. We're approaching our second hour. Someone's asking me if I shorted General Electric stocks. Yes, I did. I'm gonna check that. I actually didn't check my options today. I was just looking at my oil today. Yeah, I'm gonna look at my GE stocks. I did short it. Tell me if it went down. Please tell me it went down. I'm not gonna look it up. Tell me it went down. Okay, let's see if we could get what do we got here? I want to talk to the Raven. I don't know if he's at work, but I see him in the comments a lot. I just want to see how he's doing. I want to see if he sold that house. Yo, Raven. How you doing?
Bacalhau.
Bacalhau. Bacalhau. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Good. Yeah, I just wanted to call. Did you end up selling that house?
No, I'm gonna probably list it in the next 2 weeks here. It was so hot here, man. It's hard to work on it in the heat.
Yeah.
It's brutal today. It's 32 out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty wet hot.
Yeah, just had a big storm here, lightning and everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huge. Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to. So how are things going in general? I haven't talked to you in about a week or so.
I don't know. They're going all right. It's taking it easy. Can't go anywhere. Put us down for another lockdown. Locked for another month. I'm tired of that, man.
Hey, I got Maximum Underdrive asking, so when's the housing market crash coming? I've been trying to forecast this since 10 years now. The housing market was supposed to crash after the 2010 Vancouver Olympics in Vancouver, and it never did. It just went to the moon, and it was just tons of foreign investing. And you can't predict what the government has planned.
I think it was either April 16th when the repo market blew up there. And remember when it jumped to 10% interest on the repo and the Fed had to step in? It was either that day or it was the day that they announced a pandemic. One of those days in there, they took the economy off of autopilot and took it to manual control. Last night, the USA debt clock pounded out another $75 billion in 1 hour of debt. Last time you looked on your channel, it was at 26 trillion, 6 billion. Now it's way up there. It's 26 trillion, 100 and I don't know, 45 billion. It jumped 75 billion last night. So they're manually injecting as much as they can to get to a certain place. Now Canada's extended their CERB payments for 2 more months. So they're trying to get us to a certain place. You say that the houses, like, you know what? Watch the debt. What they're going to hyperinflate these currencies. We know that. We're
Well,
not going. We're
Raven,
not going.
I just read an article there from what's that bank there, that credit union bank, saying that their delinquencies on credit cards are going through the roof right now.
Probably on everything.
Well, no, but everyone's so heavily focused on mortgages. They're not looking at other debt, like unsecured debt. Everyone's looking at mortgages, rent.
I don't believe that defaulting credit cards, defaulting mortgages, defaulting car payments, defaulting student loans, defaulting personal, I believe it means nothing as long as we have the confidence of the American dollar. As long as we can print those digital and people are still accepting it and have confidence, we can do whatever we want. We can drag this dead corpse of an economy further down another year or two, who knows? But they definitely know what they can do.
What if people start using the American dollars as, like they used the Zimbabwe dollars as toilet paper?
Those days are coming. I didn't think the economy was this resilient. I thought a small scale war, Middle East, it's like they used to say, oh, a natural disaster could be a black swan. Come on. What kind of natural disaster? It'd have to be a pretty big one. You could crack the earth in half. And they would just sew it together with $100 bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea what that tells me is there's no real economy there. It's just confidence of a currency and our confidence that our government can straighten things out. It's a confidence, and it's also an ignorance. It's an ignorance in how things work. It's a mass ignorance of the whole planet. There's very few of us. Most of the people in your room have a very good understanding of how this all works. But if the whole population was like us, well, we'd be in a big problem. We'd be all too scared to spend money, and yeah.
Maximum Underdrive has another question. They are going to let the interest rates go up, or will this end up a currency crisis? They will never let the interest rates go up. We've been calling for an interest rate hike for the last 10 years on this channel because interest rates are way out of whack, and the only way to fix an economy like hold on, I'm going to call his name Donald Reagan, like Joe Biden says. He doesn't call him Donald Trump. He calls him Donald Reagan.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan did in 81, 82, basically put interest rates through the roof to help save the economy. A lot of people defaulted, but it basically restarted the economy overnight. And they've been praying and asking for rate increases. Even homeowners that are sick and tired of seeing their house going up in price, but then their kids and grandkids have to live with them because they can't even go out and buy a house anymore.
That's like washing yourself with gasoline and saying, I need a match so I can see what I'm doing. No. What are you saying, man? You can't, there's going to be no interest. What's a 0.25% hike cost us? $100 billion in interest for their deficits?
But not only that, when they raised it 0.25% back in 2017, everybody was crying the blues that they couldn't afford their mortgage payments anymore.
I think they did their first hike in 2015.
Right.
I think they did one or two in 2015. They ended QE on October 29th, 2014. So they said. I don't believe them. I think they're pumping
QE infinity.
Oh yeah, they were pumping it out the back. They're so. I didn't want to get into it. What about the 21 trillion missing, that Catherine Austin Fitts and Mark Skidmore found? There's so much. This whole thing is a lie. It's a lie. It's a fraud. We all know it. That's not conspiracy, man. That whole thing is full of crap.
Guys, guys watching the channel, Raven, can you tell them to watch the video? I'm going to bring it up here, guys, on Article Scan about that Mexican guy.
Yeah.
With the $10 billion missing.
Yeah.
That was a good video with this Mexican guy. Hold on. This one here. There's the other one with the debt clock I put on the right side. Guys, I'm going to leave a link in here. Open this window on the side. You want to watch this later with this Mexican guy. He does a really good job explaining Canada's debt and the trillions of dollars that went missing.
They're not spending our money, Mike. They're not printing our money into oblivion. They're printing and spending our confidence in our world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to shatter. And when that shatters, you're going to have complete chaos.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a super like pessimistic. I'm not just being a downer or a gloom and doom. That's just a fact, man.
Mm-hmm.
Speculation, the time frame, we'll pick too short of a time frame. We always do. These guys have an ability. I can see that now. I never thought they could drag it this far. They obviously have some type of ability, and they have certain, the military complex, they have the UN, the National Guard, they have all their alphabet agencies to help, coerce this economy across the finish line, whatever that's going to be, a digital currency, 5G, the mark of the beast. Who knows what the hell these freaks got in store for us? Probably not going to be pleasant, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
We're only on the tip of the iceberg here. We're in the embryo stage of madness. You just touched your toe into tyranny. Guess what? It's coming, and they're gonna want you to jump right in.
So what do you say to the people that are caught in the grips of these big cities? That's the people that I think need to worry the most.
In the States?
Well, anywhere, in these big cities. You're living in these big cities. When the poop starts to hit the fan and people start defaulting and then people start kicking in doors to eat, it's not going to be,
What do you say to us? What do you make peace with your God?
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? Throw some food in your cupboards. But what are you going to do? Those protests, I can't get a handle on all that anymore. I'm watching it. I don't believe that that's all just what it is. That's a whole different. I can't get a handle on that stuff. I had a good handle last year. I can't do it anymore. I study and read all day long. I'm not working for the next 9 weeks. I just study and read. I can't get a handle on all that. I can't see where these guys are taking it. A second wave, that's coming. They're talking about a second wave. But in a lot of those places, they're saying that it's over flooding with corona. There's nobody that has it there. It's all just,
Woo!
It's a big psychological operation. I said that right from the start. These guys, this is all a big psychological. It's just a big operation. They have 20, 30, 50 agendas they're going to fulfill here. If you can't see that, then you're not following along. It's just, I don't understand why people don't all see that. And if they're studying it and following it, why don't they see that? Why do they see other things?
Well, what? It's this bizarreness.
No, they're trying too hard to get those death counts up. They're trying too damn hard to get the numbers up. They're lying about it. They're paying incentives for it. They're trying way too hard. My girlfriend's telling me to shut up.
And anyways, no. Donaire has it right here, and I brought this up. Where did I bring it up? I think it was Can't Read Market Talk on Monday. Guys, Mondays and Fridays, set your Mondays and Friday mornings, set your reminders for Can't Read Market Talk. We go over the markets, we go over stocks. I'm going to create an account on Yahoo Finance so we could see. I'm going to get like $1,000 and you guys are going to tell me what stocks to buy with that $1,000. We could break it in two and then see how they do every week and follow those two stocks and see where they go or should I sell. And we could just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, guys, look, I talked about it and Donaire said it here. Where'd it go? Oh man, where did the comment go? Damn it. I lost it. He said that, oh man, I saw it here and it was a good one and I forgot it's about the election. We're in an election cycle. We're in an election cycle year and that's the problem. I think it's all because of the Donald Trump. They can't beat Trump at the election, so they're going to try and do what they can do to dismantle the country. That's it.
You know what? Hillary Clinton winning the
Hill Dog.
Or Hill Dog, or Trump winning the Electoral College. That was genius, man. They played that one. That was good. Mm-hmm. The coronavirus, releasing it in China, that was genius. Mm-hmm. Biden up there, that's a weak one. That's very weak. We all see that is. He's got an opponent that can't win. He never was meant to win, or he never could win because Trump was already selected. But to fool the masses, it's a very weak fooling of the masses, that one. It's not as good as what Hillary, all that was. And you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very weak one, that one.
Okay, so Raven, did you see the video I put up today for the mystery silver box?
I read something about it in the room there, but no.
Oh, you better watch that because I got a box of silver I bought off some random guy. He needed some money to buy marijuana next door at the because the new marijuana store opened up. So,
Okay.
oh yeah, you got to watch the video. It's on my channel. It's my last video I made, and I got some pretty good coinage out of it, like pure silver. I got one with a train on it, and I even mentioned your name on it
Oh yeah.
with the CN rail train.
Oh yeah. Point, eh? Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I have them here. So if you could see your screen right now, you could see what I'm looking at. That's the haul I got in today. I'm gonna put a sign up tomorrow on my door saying we buy coins, and I'm gonna start buying coins.
You gotta be careful with that, eh?
Why?
Because that's an investment. I don't know if you can. You have to be an accredited coin dealer. They came into our flea market, the one I go to, and they clamped down on people for selling gold and silver. Are you buying silver coins?
No, I'm buying coins. Whatever people have, like rare coins, notes, whatever, just collectible stuff.
Yeah, I'm not sure the ramifications of that.
No, I'm not buying gold bars and selling gold bars and silver bars.
I don't know. My gold stock crashed, so.
Yeah, you know what? I put a bunch of money this morning into new gold. I thought it was going to go back up. It's at 156 right now, I think.
No, it's at 145.
Oh, 140. Don't even tell me that. I don't even want to look at my portfolio right now. I bought a
What
whole
did you
bunch
buy
this
that?
morning thinking it was going to bounce back from yesterday, and it didn't bounce back at all. So
What'd you
let's
buy
go
at?
over right now to see what gold is at in the Australian markets real quick here. Let's go see what's happening here in Australia in the markets.
What'd you buy at, Mike?
What's that?
What'd you buy at? 156?
Like 150 something new gold.
I bought at 157.
Yeah. It's okay.
30K.
It's going to go up. I mean, it has to go up.
I'm down
shoot.
a couple grand.
Well, the all ordinaries are down still. We got another 2 hours for the markets to close in Australia. The all ordinaries are down 94 points at 6,000. The ASX 200 is at 5,897, down 94 points. The Australian dollar is having a really tough time staying above 68 cents against the American. Oil at 37.35 per barrel, and then we got down 61 cents. We got gold 1734, $1,734.70, down 90 cents right now from its opening. And I don't know what Bitcoin is in Australian dollar. I don't know the exchange. And then right now the Nikkei 225 is down 226 points, and the Hang Seng is down 247 points. So right now the markets in Asia are not looking good right now. And I think tomorrow we're going to see another hit on gold, and then we might see another hit on oil. So tomorrow I'm going to be eyeballing my oil when the market opens at 6:30 my time. I think I'm going to dump all my oil and just keep an eye on things for the next week or so.
Well, you know what? Trump's going to spend $1 trillion on infrastructure, and probably half of that, they say, on 5G. So, I don't know. Do you want to dump all your oil? There's going to be a lot of money getting juiced into the markets here.
Well, no. I dump it until it goes back up. I'm not going to dump it and walk away. I've been buying and selling oil on swings for the last 3 months.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot of money's coming into the markets, so tons.
Oh, I heard your friend didn't get the UN seat or something.
Oh, Trudeau? No. 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 Imagine that, eh? Man, that guy's an idiot.
Okay, hold on. Let me go. Justin Trudeau news. Here we go. What the UN votes. So what did he do? What did he want? 2020 all over again. What the UN vote says about Canada's place in the world. What did he try to do? Apply for a seat there or something?
Yeah, well, they had a seat offering or whatever, but we didn't get it. 2 seats. Was it 2 seats? She says 2 seats. I just caught the art. I try not to really look at anything that Trudeau does. Mm-hmm. You know what? My girlfriend said he's such a puppet. He can't even talk. Like, he can't even talk. Like, could you ever think you'd have a conversation with him?
Mm-hmm. So here it is. Justin Trudeau got the cover of Rolling Stone, but he could not get Canada a temporary seat in the United Nations Security Council.
Yeah.
Yeah, so your friend didn't do well today, I'm sorry to say.
Abolish the UN. Abolish all that crap. People are waking up to the lies that are the world. The whole thing is a lie. Everything is a lie. It's all a lie.
It's all lies. Yeah, I know, Raven. You're right. You're right.
I'll tell you, it is a lie. The moon landing, all a lie. I know I sound like a conspiracy theory, whatever. You telling me you're driving a 1969 Buick around and we sent 2 guys to the moon, but we can't do it now? Lie. It's a lie. But why do they got to lie to us? They tell us in video after video that we can't go past lower Earth orbit. But you're sending guys to the moon in 69, but you can't do it now because you deleted all the technology and it's too labor intensive to recreate it. Bullshit.
There's more technology in PlayStation 2 than there is on the first moon landing.
Yeah, my phone in my hand is more technology than they had in 69. But they can't. It's just lies. It's all lies, man. And now when you start to understand all the lies, they'll lock me out.
Okay, we're gonna have Mike in the Night this Saturday. I guess we'll bring up again some of the riots, the unsettledness, anti-Jemama, and Vegetable Joe. We'll talk about him for a bit and see where he's heading. And we are getting closer to elections in the United States. We are halfway through the year. It is arguably one of the worst years on record.
Yeah. Oh, it is. This is insanity.
Yeah.
We're in like Disney World, man. I think we haven't even seen anything yet. Nothing. Incremental change. They're just giving it to us a little bit at a time, but it's going to come a little faster, a little harder, a little faster, a little harder. Yeah, and people are getting used to following the rules, standing on those circles, 6 feet apart, put your mask on, kneel, get down on your knee, slave, get down on your knee. Yeah, I'm not submitting to anyone. I'm not wearing a mask. I go in stores to walk against the arrows.
Me too.
I do. You want to talk to Lenny Pooh? She wants to tell you about the real estate.
Hurry up, get her on.
Cool. Very quick. Mike wants to know, it's trends in the housing market. How's the real estate market?
Oh, hi, Mike.
Hi, how are you, Winnie Pooh?
Oh, I'm good. Yeah, it's Lenny Pooh.
Lenny Pooh. I'm sorry, Lenny. All right, so tell us, what is happening in the markets? Are you seeing a slowdown or?
Well, I think that right now it feels like it always was. It feels like it was before COVID came.
So stuff is still selling.
Yep. Yep. It's very similar. There's houses selling. There's multiple offers. There's going way over list price with competing offers. Not everywhere, but a certain percentage. Feels very similar, although it was lower. There was a lower couple of weeks there, over the, say, 5-year average. But I don't know. We'll see what the stats say. A lot of people still looking, and all the COVID regulations seem to be calming down. Where you have to sign all this paperwork before you look at a house and follow all this protocol for cleanliness. That seems to be easing up. So that's nice.
Well, that's good. At least things are starting to ease up. But you're saying it's the markets didn't get hit, the housing markets didn't get hit that hard.
Not right now, but you know how it is because interest rates are so low now. See, they keep going down, so now they're around 2%, and then that affects directly your monthly payment. So really, your monthly payment stays the same. Interest rates move, and then housing prices move accordingly, but your payment's the same.
And then, but the thing is, it increases your borrowing capacity too.
Yeah, exactly. So then that makes house price go up, right? Then it sort of drives up. That's what always has driven up prices is just rates going down. It because interest rate go down, you can buy more, you can spend more. So hey, spend more, house prices.
Well, they say by 2022 in the U.S. that a majority of the rates are going to be at zero by 2022.
Well, that's what I was kind of hoping at. Yeah, because I have a renewal in a year. And I was thinking, yep, that's what I'm thinking. They'll go to zero eventually. Yeah, but slow. like he was saying, go slower than you think. But it's happening. That's what's the what? How could this be happening in real life? But it is.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's crazy.
You would
Yeah.
think, but there's a lot of out of towners, like out of province people moving to Manitoba right now, especially from Ontario, and people moving from British Columbia. Or I spoke to a guy the other day. He's like, yeah, he's moving to just outside of Winnipeg. He bought a small house with some land there, and he sold what he had in Vancouver.
Yeah, that's a good strategy because we have a great little place here. That's common. That happens. We often get that, right? Little influxes because we're the second most affordable, bigger city in Canada. It's a nice little affordable city. Great lifestyle here. That's the thing. Got to put up with winter, but great lifestyle. And yeah, I mean, especially if you're coming from BC because you sell there. That's a big stash, right? Because you have such expensive houses, a nice big stash. Come here.
Oh, they're going to say nice big houses. I'm like, no, nice big money, but the houses are teardowns.
What I mean, stash of money. That's what I mean. Like that house is a good stash of money. You sell that, and wow, you got good dough to come here because here that you don't need anywhere near that to buy the same home ish, right? Comparable. So, yeah, but it's Winnipeg. So yeah, it's very good, affordable. Why not?
Good. Well, it's good that you give us an update on what's happening there on the front.
Yeah, we're steady Eddie here, so it's Manitoba. Steady Eddie. Yep, we don't go up and down. We're slow and steady.
I heard that's happening too in New Brunswick and Manitoba.
Yeah,
no,
we're
New Brunswick, not Manitoba. New Brunswick and what's the other one? Halifax, there, like that area there.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yep, very similar vibe.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so that's great. Awesome. What a great program. Thanks, Mike.
Well, thanks, and we'll hope you will tune in to Mike in the Night.
Okay, sounds good. Take care.
Hey, Mike.
Okay, I'll talk to you later, and let me know if you could come on Mike in the Night.
Yeah, I'll be around.
Okay. Have a good night.
Okay, I'll go. Yeah. Okay.
Bye. That is the Ravenola. All right, guys, my 2 hours are up. I am off to just spend some time with the family before they go to bed. It's been a great 2 hours, guys. Thank you for coming on Trends in the Housing Market. Guys, if you don't mind, please subscribe to the channel. And I'm asking more than ever to actually, if you don't mind, maybe sharing or watching some of the videos on the channel. I would really appreciate it. Here is the silver slash precious metal find I got today, and I bought that from Budweiser. And he took the money, went over to the Wacky Tobacco store and bought some Wacky Tobacco with the money. So there it is, right there, the find. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Watch this video if you can. Share something. The channel is not getting out there at all. We are not. A lot of people are not getting any notifications. I got a pile of emails on Sunday and Monday from people saying that they look up my name, they can't find me. They look for Mike in the Night, they can't find it. So it's getting to that point now. I don't know what's going to happen. And there's more news coming up with this whole censoring thing, that they're actually thinking of blocking comments on YouTube channels where people aren't allowed to comment anymore. I'm not kidding you. You could look it up. It's in the news today that Google, Facebook, all these things are going to be held responsible for some random person commenting about something. It's scary where it's headed. Anyways, guys, I want to wish you guys a good night. And remember, guys, take care. And if you can't take care, be careful. Thanks for watching, and thanks for all your support. And thanks for the callers, and thanks for the commenters, and thanks everybody. Thanks to everybody in the comment section. I really appreciate your support. And we'll see you for Mike in the Night, and we'll